my creatives, and welcome to another video. So today I'm sharing with you how I made this pocket letter for Afia, and I am using the Open Book Collection by Maggie Holmes. This is a digital print I bought from AC Digitals, so I will link that down below in the description box so you can check out where I got it. I also link all the other products down below in the description box, at least I can find them online. Everything is listed down below in the description box, so maybe you can find it yourself, but just remember that some of them are affiliate links and some of them are not, but then at least you know what I used. So I used this Maggie Holmes kit, and I cut up some papers in 2.5 inch by 3.5 inch, I believe, and that will make them fit in these 9 pocket sleeves. So these sleeves are playing card sleeves. You can just find them on Amazon, I believe, and I got mine from AliExpress. Just type in 9 pocket sleeve or playing card sleeve, and then you can find these for your own and order a bunch of them at once. So I chose some pattern papers from this collection, and now I'm going to start to decorate my cards. And how I do this is that I don't do every card individually. I work at this project as a whole. So you see me jump around quite a lot to create my pocket letter. So first I like to start off with some background pieces. So for this I use this little doily, and I'm going to stick that down with some tape runner onto this card. Also I distressed all the cards with some distressed Oxide, and that will also be linked down below in the description box. I also take this book page, and I'm going to use that as well to create some background texture. I love to layer up papers and create a little collage, and I like to use bigger pieces that create a background, and then I will add an embellishment cluster on top to create a foreground. But like I said, I work on all the cards at the same time, or most of them, to create more of a balanced look and making sure that not all the doilies are next to each other or all the book pages are next to each other. That's a bit around the whole project and not just on, the bottom row or something. So now I take this vellum paper or tracing paper, I'm not quite sure, because I received that in mail once, and I will also add that. But then I found this big die cut, and I decided to add that in the doily just because it looked perfect with the circle of the doily. I'm going to do a doodly border around some cards, and as you can see I am copying the red card or the red pattern paper card with the doily and the doodly border to create some cohesion. And now I'm going to use some of that vellum paper as a layering collage piece behind this camera die cut. So I also don't finish my cards all at once. It depends on what I find in my embellishment box, because on the side you see all the elements that came with the digital kit. I like to cut them up and put them in a sleeve, and when I work with it I put everything in a box beside me so I can rummage through it. And sometimes I see pieces and I'm like, oh, I would like that on this mail, but I'm not sure where, or I have a certain idea on a certain card, and then I will add that there and just leave it there, because I don't know, it's a lot more time consuming for me if I try to do one card completely at once. So now I'm going to work on my sort of say title card, because this banner said hello, so I thought it was perfect to create this as the center card saying hello Afia, because it is a mail to her and I love to write people's names on there. So I use these alphabet stickers from an older Flow book for paper lovers issue, and I'm going to do a faux stitching border for this one. So I switch up my borders as well a little bit, but still there will be a border around all the cards. I also like to add self-adhesive pearls or rhinestones or gems or something like that, because it gives me that finished look. I don't know what it is. It feels finished when I add these things, and it feels unfinished when they're not on there. I do have to get new ones, so if anyone has recommendations on where to get good new ones, preferably online, please let me know, because I'm running out, and I would love to have some more of these gems or pearls or anything like that. So if anyone has a good recommendation, please leave them down below in the comment section. I would love to go check it out. So now I'm continuing on the top card, and I found this quote, "My heart is full," and I thought it looked perfect with the things that were already on the card. And now I'm going to grab some hard self-adhesive pearl things. I don't know quite how to call them, but I bought them at Action a very, very, very long time ago. They've been in my stash since forever. Also because I bought a bunch of them at the same time. And yeah, I'm running low now, but I didn't have to worry about these things for several years. Let's say it like that. So now I'm going to work on the bottom card, and I was wondering if I wanted to add a background piece, but I wasn't quite sure, and then I decided to do it anyway, and then I forgot to distress it. So I just was very quick and bumped it up a little bit so I could still distress the sides. After I created my background, I'm of course also going to add a doodly border around here, or a faux stitching border around this, because I also did that on the other green card. And I'm going to add this big embellishment that's saying "Love is all you need." And I'm going to try to find some smaller embellishments to create a cluster. I noticed that I'm loving to layer up things and see them in threes, so I try to find something to create a little bit more depth and more of a thought of look and more interesting look than just one embellishment. And here I go again with the self-adhesive pearl hearts and some just dots, which I really like. I just scatter them around the piece where I think they need it. I just don't think too much about it. So now I'm going through my basket again, and these are all hand cut because I don't have a silhouette. And if you want to know how to print and prepare your own digital kits the way that I do, I have a video tutorial about that. I will leave that link down below in the description box. I show you how I work, but I also show you how you can get the same result in a very easy way. I will show you the whole process of what papers I use, my printer, my process of getting the images on sheets of paper, and how I fussy cut. So I will leave that link down below in the description box for you, so you can check that out if you want to start using your own printable digital kits. Because what I love about digital kits is that I never run out of embellishments, and I feel more. You know that you sometimes wait for the perfect project to use a certain thing. Well, and the perfect project never comes. I don't have the feeling with this because I know I can reprint stuff if I run out of something. And then I especially mean florals, because I love to use florals. You will also see that on this mail. So I always run out of florals. And now I just know that I can print extra florals. So that's why I love to buy digital kits and digital collections. But enough about that. Let's go back to the pocket letter. So I started the red card with the bunny, but it's not finished yet, but I wasn't sure what I wanted to do next. So I moved on to the top card where you saw me put that big rose die cut on and some of the enamel self-adhesive pearl stick and things. And now I'm going back to the bunny card just because I didn't know what I wanted to do or how I wanted to finish off my embellishment cluster. So I found this little floral and this other leaf, and that will finish it off. Then I thought I would want to add some more quotes, and I very much love the Tim Holtz small talk book for that. So I added a sentence on there saying "remember now," and I think that finished it off for me with the embellishment cluster. I love to add words and quotes on my projects. I don't know, there's something about the aesthetic that I very much like. And now I decided to also do a doodly border around the letters of Afia, her name, because I missed something there. And usually a doodly border does it for me. So that is what I did. I'm going to add some more of these Tim Holtz small talk stickers because I like to repeat certain elements throughout my projects. If you have been watching me for a longer time, you know that I am very much looking for consistency and cohesiveness in my projects. And one of the things how I try to achieve that is by using the same embellishment in different ways or on different places, so that it feels balanced and it feels cohesive, even though I'm using a lot of different images on a spread. Especially with these cards, I use a lot of different kind of embellishments. Although there's the same collection, I still missed a bit of cohesiveness throughout the cards, so that is why I chose the Tim Holtz word stickers. So now I'm working on the other cards and I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. I wasn't quite sure, and now I figured out my collage for the bottom card. So I'm going to take that scrap doily and I'm just going to stick it down with some double-sided tape. I noticed my doilies don't really like wet glue, so that is why I use double-sided tape for that, because usually you will see the glue through it, especially the bottle you see on top there. You will see the gluing stripes where I put the glue through the doily, and I don't like that, so that's why I use double-sided tape for that. And now I'm just creating some collage with the scrap pieces I have laying around and this beautiful floral piece. So I made this pocket letter for Afia, and I know that she really loves florals, and I also thought she would enjoy more of a vintage look, so that's why I chose this collection. I also know that Afia is a very big journaler, so I thought while making this, I thought that she could, if she wanted to take the mail apart, which of course you can do because they're just separate cards, she could put them in her journal to use, maybe as prompts, because that's why I put things on there like favorite moments or chapters of us or something like that, so she could you know, use them as journal prompts or as embellishment in her own journal if she wanted to. Otherwise, they are just very nice prompts and they look very, very nice. So I really enjoyed it, but I've kept in mind the kind of crafter she is, and I tried to add things she could use in her mixed media or in her own journaling. So now I'm almost done with the front, and there's just one card left, and the way I cut the paper left this perfect deer bunny. I really love him, he's so cute, but I wanted to keep him visible, so that was quite a bit of a challenge with finding pieces that would fit in that tiny space up there and not disrupt him. So I finally found some pieces, and I'm going to add this text paper as a background piece to create more texture and more depth. And now I'm going to add these 3 little things to create an embellishment cluster. Like I said, I usually love to work in 3s, so, and that's very noticeable in this little card that you see here. And I thought it was fun that this arrow would point to her name, so it draws your eye to the middle card. I'm also going to add a sticker that says follow your heart, and I'm also going to do a doodly border around that, finishing it off with some hearts. And then I am finished, and I'm going to add my cards into the pockets, and I'm going to turn it around and start working on my goodies, because I always love to include in my videos the goodies that I incorporate, because it gives you ideas on what you can send as goodies. And in my case, I always, oh no, I'm doing something else first, but I will finish my talk about goodies. I always make sure that my goodies are cohesive with what I'm sending. So that is why I always show that. So I found this perfect washi tape, and then I found out that it didn't have enough on there anymore. So I found another, and I'm going to add that to the side where usually the thing will go into the binder. So Afia can punch out holes again, of course, through this washi tape if she wants to put it in a binder, but I don't want to make those decisions for people, so I don't punch out the holes myself. I don't know if she keeps them in a binder. I do keep my pocket letters in binders, but I don't know if she does, so I don't want to make the decision for her. Then I also have this flower trim, and I bought that at a second-hand store a very, very long time ago, and it's very old and it's a bit discolored and it looks so vintage, so I thought it was perfect for this mail. And I added a self-adhesive dot behind every center of the flower to make sure that it would stick to the pocket letter and that there will be no glue residue. So I thought she also might like some of this trim, so I'm going to add that for her as well. But first I'm going to make 9 more cards to put as a backing in this pocket letter. So I don't always do this. It depends on if I feel like it, and if depends on the goodies I'm going to put in. Sometimes I have put quite a lot of mixed media or something on the front of the pocket letter, and then it will take up a lot of weight. And I try to send mail under 100 grams because it's 3 stamps for me international, which is about €8, which is payable or doable for me. If I go over that, I will need to put down 6 stamps. So yeah, 3 or 6. So it depends on how much stuff I already put on a project if I'm going to do the backing papers. But I do really like the finished look of it, so if I think of it and if it's possible, I will definitely add some papers at the back. But you don't have to do this, it just makes it look a little bit nicer. And I know Afia can use the papers again, of course. So I added the trim in there, and now I'm going to add some washi samples. I try to connect my washi samples to the mail that I'm making. So I have this gold washi and then this very cool washi which is stamps, and it's a botanical feel, and I thought it would fit with the florals. And then of course the washi that I used on the side, and I also added this white washi tape of an advertisement, and I thought she would love that, and she did, because she got my mail and she very much loved that washi tape, so I'm very happy that she did. Of course, I will add some of the die cuts in there for her to use, and I picked 2 pockets to put some of the die cuts in that would fit in these pockets. And I also took some tabs from the Planner Society I thought she would like for her own journal or snail mail, and added those. Some stickers I bought at Action a very long time ago. And now I'm taking some labels I bought at AliExpress. I thought she also might enjoy, and they fit the vintagey vibe of this mail. So now I'm going to add some tags in this green and red, because I noticed that green and red are the most prominent colors in this pocket letter. So I thought these would also fit with my pocket letter. Now I'm going to create a belly band for my pocket letter to keep it closed and to send it out, but the paper was just a little bit short, so I tried to fuss around with it a little bit, but couldn't make it work. And then I thought I could extend my paper a little bit by gluing this scrap piece of book page on it, so there was enough room to move it on and off without breaking it. So I added some double-sided tape on both the sides of this paper, tried to keep it as straight as possible and stick my extra piece of paper on there. But now I was able to move it off and on this mail before sending it out, and that way Afia could also keep it complete if she wanted to. So I'm putting the belly band back on, and I'm going to add a doily to it. I don't know, I love the look of doilies, and I thought it would fit because I also used these doilies on the inside, of course. And the pattern paper that I used was a scrap from the papers that I used for cards. So I also tried to use the same pattern paper multiple times to create cohesion, but it also reduces my scraps, which I very much like, of course. So now I'm going to decorate the belly band a little bit, and I find this bunny and a flower and a leaf, and I'm going to take a little bit of washi tape to ground them because it felt like they were floating. So this little piece of washi tape really helped to ground my embellishment cluster and to give the feeling that they were actually standing there and not just floating around in the air. So then I go to the back, stick my own sticker on there, and now I'm going to find a phrase in this Tim Holtz booklet that I thought would fit Afia. It says, "Find joy in the ordinary." So now continuing to my own writing paper. I love to make my own writing paper because that way it fits with my mail, it's cohesive, it's exactly the style that I need, and I know how much writing space I have because I like to write long letters, and that means that I need quite a lot of real estate to write. So I do somewhat of a stream of consciousness writing. When I'm writing letters or writing in my diary, I just go for it like I'm really talking to the person. So that often gives me long letters. So I'm just going to use some of the washi tape that I used as one of the goodies, but I don't have a lot of that red left. So I chose another red washi tape that would fit with the polka dots. And I'm going to add some embellishments to the corners of these letters just to cheer it up a little bit. But like I said, I need a lot of writing space. And that's also why it takes me sometimes quite some time to respond to people. Is because I do take my time to write a letter. A meaningful letter and a letter that says something. So I can sit down with one letter for 2 hours, just because I'm writing the things that I'm thinking. So that's also why it sometimes takes me quite a while, because I don't want to make just a pretty mail. I also want to write a letter that says something. I don't know, maybe I think too much about these things, but that's how I like it. And I just put the letter behind the belly band on the back of the pocket letter, and I made sure that I would fold it exactly the right size. So I used my pocket letter laying next to me as a template or a reference of where I had to fold my paper. So now I'm trying to figure out if this envelope would fit, and I had some trouble with putting it in because of the trim that I used. It was sticking up a little bit, but it fit in perfectly, so I go for this envelope. And the first thing that I do when I'm decorating my envelope is I'm taking my scraps. So these scraps are from the cards that I made at the beginning, and they are a perfect representation of what is in the mail, because these are the papers that I use. And I reduce my scraps, which is also a very good thing, because no one is waiting for like a folder. Well, I do have those folders full of scraps. I have 3 bins full of scraps, so I want to use as much as I can in a paper project of the same papers, because I don't want to be left with a zillion scraps and not a single sheet of paper left completely for me to use. So that is why I love to do that. I'm also going to do doodly borders around these. So I'm doing a faux stitch border, and I am doing the doodly border around that, and I am alternating them on these pieces of paper. So now I'm going to outline my envelope with this washi tape, and I like to do so because it gives a little bit of extra protection from the envelope while in the mailing system, and it also looks very nice, so I usually do that. And then this washi tape ran out, and it got all weird and all double sticky, and then I messed it up even more, and then I was like, okay, I'm done. Okay, so this washi tape is out. I'm going to fix this in another way. So I took some double-sided tape, and I took this gold washi tape because this doesn't stick amazingly well. So when that happens, I like to use a bit of double-sided tape under it. And I'm going to add that to the top. And do you remember that little piece that was too small for the pocket letter side? So I stuck it on here. And that worked out perfectly. So I stuck that washi tape on here, and now I'm going to go through my embellishment box. And I'm going to adhere some die cuts to it to create a little bit of a fun cluster. So I find this floral piece that I'm going to adhere to my envelope. And in that dart, I believe I put the priority sticker. So I thought that looked fun. So I'm going to adhere this down, and then I will find some words that I also want to put on the envelope. And I'm going to put them inside the centers of the paper strips that I already put on there. So I'm going to add favorite moments, cultivate kindness. You know, like favorite moments in getting happy mail is one of my favorite moments. So I assume other people have the same. And I also add a sticker, hello my darling, because it's like the first thing she sees when she gets this mail. And that's my way of saying hello to her. I also always write my PO box on the back as a returning address, and then that is my pocket letter to Afia. I really hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, I would love it if you would give me a thumbs up. I would also love it if you would consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you all next time. Bye!